Hey guys, Chef Ro here. Welcome to our next video in the series of I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, but... Okay, today we're going to work with one of the most common ingredients in a kitchen, the humble onion. We all know that this is the one that makes us all emotional inside, but I'm going to teach you a way that that isn't going to happen. Now, the best way to not cry when you're cutting an onion is to make sure your knife is dead sharp, which we've already covered, and that you use more of a slicing motion rather than a chopping motion. It goes down to the science of things. If you use a chopping motion, you crush the cell structure that forces the gas out that makes you cry. Don't want to get emotional. I'm a chef. We don't have emotions other than chef temper. Anyway, so the best way to start this is to get rid of the hair. Okay? This is where most of the bacteria of an onion live, and so we want to get rid of that. But you don't want to get rid of much, okay? This is all you want to get rid of. So we're going to set that to the side. Then we're going to get rid of the hat, okay? So notice that we've created ourselves some flat surfaces, okay? Flat surfaces are always going to be safer when you're cutting because the food won't wobble on you. Okay? Now, a lot of people sit here and try and peel the onion right now. And I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, but it's a lot easier if you cut the onion in half first, because it never fails. You peel the onion and then you cut it in half anyway. And watch how much easier this is. Now, whenever you cut an onion in half, you're always going to want to cut it from pole to pole, never around the equator. Okay? So we're going to go pole to pole, all the way straight down. Now, watch how easily this comes off. Comes right off without any hassle whatsoever. Now, a lot of people leave this layer on the onion, and that's where you're going to run into problems. Your knife's going to have a hard time getting through it, and so then you're going to start crying again. Okay? If it's rubbery like this, basic rule of thumb, if it doesn't look like something you want to eat, don't eat it. Now, if you notice, I've created two separate piles. This pile here, I put it in the trash. But this pile here, even though I don't want to eat it in my stir fry, this goes great into a stock pot. I keep a bag of vegetable trim in the freezer, and as soon as I have it full, I make my own stock. Saves me money and it tastes better too. Now, my chef friends are going to tell you that the best way to dice an onion is we're going to go this way a few times, then we're going to go this way, and then we're going to go this way. Well, I don't know about you, but this makes me a little bit nervous. But the problem is if I just went straight up and down like this, these pieces here are going to be larger than these pieces here, and then they're not going to cook at the same rate. Okay? So, realistically speaking, most of the time for home cooks, your recipe is only going to call for a quarter or maybe half of an onion. So I'm going to show you how to work with an onion a quarter at a time. Okay? So we're going to cut through the root again, pole to pole, and we're going to just work with a quarter of an onion at a time. Now, we are never going to cut past about here towards the root end of the onion, because that way it'll hold together for us. So you're going to put the tip of the knife in and straight out. Okay? Now, flip that onion on its side, and you're going to do it again. So if you notice, I've basically done the same thing as if I had gone this way with my knife, but in a much more safe and controlled manner. Once we have the onion cut long ways, 2 times, we are now going to come across, and if you notice, I'm using a slicing motion. Your whole knife wants to cut. Let it. And if you do it this way, you're going to come out with a perfect diced onion every time. Okay? I'm going to show you again, just in case. Okay? So, straight down, notice I'm not going all the way through the root end. Flip it and do it one more time. Once you have this done, we're going to come across. Okay? Perfectly diced onions every single time. Butt in goes in our stock pot. So as you can see, I have a perfectly diced onion. They're all the same size. They're all going to cook at the same rate. I've got my trim for my stock bag, and I've got what's going to go into the trash. All very easy, very simple, and very safe.